I have some Q&A for you all to asking question, and from here we want to let Lao Ta to talk more, rather than I talk more. I no need to talk more, then I will let Lao Ta to talk more. So we want to know that Lao Ta, since when you are so interested to the politics, to the social events? Since when you started the journey?
Can I sit up?
Yeah, you sit down. No, you don't need to sit down.
All right. Easier. Thanks for all of you for coming. Actually, I think there's no better time than now, because yesterday in Kelantan, the by-election victory hopefully will be a new beginning. A new beginning, because in the last almost 2 years, there has been a lot of frustrations and unhappiness. And I can understand why Anwar Ibrahim wants to have a significant Malay support. Because without Malay support, he is no more Prime Minister. He has now outlasted the 3 previous Prime Ministers: Ismail Sabri, Muhyiddin Yassin, and Mahathir in his second term as PM. And he will go on. I think he will be able to continue unchallenged until the next general elections. But will he and will we continue to be re-elected? Yesterday's outcome shows there's a possibility. And I'm very happy with that, because the attempt to reach out to get significant Malay support must not be at the expense of the aspirations and what he promised and we promised the people in the last general election: reformacy, institutional change and reform, equality equality and freedom and justice. So there's hope, and that's all it's all about. There must be hope. The people can be hopeful. I don't know what is going to happen in the Makota by-election. And the question that the chairperson asked when I decide to have a role in politics, there is no such, I don't think there was any such a time. I was active in school. I was in my class, Form 3, we had a class magazine. At that time, in the 50s, you don't talk about student activity. I was very active as a student. I was involved in the library in school, and we had a public library in Batu Pahat. I was involved in all the various school societies and here and there. So the conclusion is we must be active. We must be aware of what's happening. In 1955, when I was in Form 1, I cycled from Batu Pahat to Malacca. And at that time, this is all you have to do. And there's already a very brave action. At that time was the Bandung Conference. The Bandung Conference where Chow Eng Lai, Nasser, Tito, Nehru, Nkrumah, Sukarno met for the first time. And during our trip from Batu Pahat to Malacca and back, that was the subject we were all talking about. So we were very alive. That is Form 1. Very alive with what's happening in the country. And when I was in Form 3, Malaya, at the time Malaya, achieved independence. And I still remember we gathered at the Padang and the proclamation was read out. Then I was in Singapore as a reporter. And I was sent back to cover the Singapore, the Malaysian Parliament, August the 9th, 1965. But that day, Singapore was thrown out of Malaysia. So I did not cover. I did not cover Parliament. I went to Parliament first time, and I saw there's only one PAP MP left, Devanaya. The rest have gone back already. Tunku moved the motion, and that was that. I was in Straits Times, and then I went to Ministry of Culture. I was around September 1965. Devanaya asked to see me. I was never active in politics in Singapore. I was active in trade union. I was Secretary General of the Singapore National Union of Journalists when I was 21 years old. So we were active, and we knew each other. So he asked to see me. He said that he applied to be an editor. I applied to be editor. At that time, 1965, with my Form 5 background, editor, you get 4-figure salary. It's quite a lot. He said, I cannot pay you that much, but I need a political secretary to look after my constituency and the party. That the DAP application for the registration of DAP has been submitted. He said, I need now one. You think about it. It's going to be a lower salary and a different lifestyle. He knows I'm not a Singaporean. I'm from Batu. I told him, okay, accept. He said, hey, don't accept. You go back and talk to your family. I said, I accept. And I went back. I got scolded by my family. My family, you stupid people. I went back with Batu. My friend told me, oh, idiotic. But I feel that you must be active. You must play a role in society. So I never thought about politics, but there was an opportunity. So 1965, I came in and saw Chen after the Rahang by-election. 66, March the 18th, the DAP was registered. So I got involved. I was the National Organizing Secretary. I was the editor of the Rocket, and here I am today. Their life is what you can see everywhere. But I think the young people must. This is your country. This is our country. You make the best of it. The country can go. Malaysia is in a critical situation. There are people who believe that Malaysia the inevitability of the green wave, Islamic State, not anti-Islam, Islamic State. I think there's no inevitability. And Saturday's result shows that there's no inevitability of a green wave. What we can do in Malaysia is a balance. We can be an example to the world of the future of the world, of moderation, center. The center can hold because we have different religions, different cultures, different languages, different races. And that's all the world is today. In the old days, you have Babylonian civilization, you have Egyptian civilization, you have Inca civilization, you have Chinese and Indian. But they were all very localized. Today, we are the planet Earth is becoming a smaller and smaller place. We are going to another space. We are flying into space. We are in the world of artificial intelligence. Of course, we have wars in Ukraine, we have wars in Gaza. But we must think about the future. And I'm not in frontline politics, so I think of the future, I think of the past. The future of mankind is something we must all think about. And Malaysia can be an example of a fusion of religions, of faiths, of races, civilizations. And that's what I will try to work on. But I think this is serious. And how can Malaysia become a great world-class nation? If we are going to be polarized, extreme, and there are people who want Malaysia to be extreme, to be polarized, and we see this process in the last 2 or 3 years. Malaysia will be a failed state. I don't believe that the majority of the Muslims want an Islamic state. How many Islamic states are there in the world? Even in the Middle East, they are opening up. They are becoming more cosmopolitan, more tolerant, more acceptable. So why are we going the way of polarization? We must keep institutional change, reform what we have, go for a meritocratic system, because I believe this is what excellence is about. We want Malaysia to be a great world-class nation. And we can contribute. Singapore is something like Malaysia, but Singapore is most 70% Chinese, here 60% Muslims, Malays. Malaysia is a better place to be able to be an example to the world. But this is something we must impart to the people. So I will make those opening remarks.
Okay. So be careful. So after you came back and then became the POSEC to our first SG, Saudara Dewan Nair, the late Saudara Nawai. So after that, you also in this is when this is Sedang.
There is Fong Kui Lun.
Fong Kui Lun, yes. In the between, there's a Phong Quy Lun. So that by-election, Sedang by-election,
Yeah.
with the spec one, there's a Phong Quy Lun.
Is that? That's the MP for KL Bandar.
Oh, the
He's
time
the-
is KL Bandar,
He is the only surviving
MP.
from the 60s. In the 60s, I contested the Sedang by-election in December 1968.
1968, okay.
Because the Labour Party, they said this is election, democracy is a phony election. It's to bluff the people. So they ordered their MP, the elected representative to resign. So there was a by-election. And I stood in the by-election, but I lost. It was a three-cornered fight. There was a MCA representing Alliance, DAP, Gerakan. And Gerakan split the votes. I got so I lost. But as a result of our loss, we took a policy decision to form a electoral understanding with Gerakan. We had several months before that, we had an electoral understanding with the PPP in Perak. But we have no electoral understanding with Gerakan. Gerakan was formed by people like V. David, Sakhuddin Alatas, Tan Chi Kun, and Teo Tek Chai, and all that. So we formed this electoral. I was supposed to stand in KL Bandar. Hok Guan was to stand in Bangsa. That was where Devan Nair stood. But we did not expect to win many seats, one or two. We expect. So when we gave the seat to Teo Tek Chai of the KL Bandar to Teo Tek Chai, and I was supposed to go to Damansara, the third seat. And the MP for at that time was Michael Chen. Michael Chen was a member of parliament for 5 years. David had no confidence that I will win. Cannot win one. He said, you go to Malacca. So I went to Malacca. And I went to Malacca, I didn't know anybody. You go. But I won.
But we got branch there during that time?
We had a branch, there. So we stood there and I started my life as a member of parliament.
But after that, something happened.
No, I stood in Malacca in 74, 69, 74. And then we had Tan Tek Chan.
Yeah. But then 69, we have May 13.
No, 69, May 13. May 13,
After you elected,
I was never in Kuala Lumpur in May 13.
you're in Sabah, right?
Because I was in Malacca. And on May the 13th morning, I flew to Sabah. Because the Sabah and Sarawak elections are about 2 weeks after KL. And so I went to help William Lai. At that time, he became an independent candidate, and later on, he became a deputy minister. I went so May 13 morning, I flew to Sabah, KK. And I was speaking at a public rally. Somebody at the back told me, trouble in Kuala Lumpur. People died. You don't know what's happening. Next morning, so we are in Sabah, and that was it. Next morning, 14 May, immigration officers came and asked me to get out of KK. Not because I made a din, because in the public rally, I attacked Tun Mustafa. Tun Mustafa at that time was the chief minister of Sabah. He was very powerful. He had an executive jet. I criticized him, waste of money and all that. And so he was very angry. So on the 14th, he asked me to get out of Sabah, because Sabah and Sarawak have immigration powers. But being a young man, you are rebellious. So I went to visit KK. I went around house to house visit. So to be deliberately late. At that time, there's only one flight. One flight a day. You miss the flight, you stay another day. So I deliberately missed the flight. And it was because I missed the flight, I saved my life. Because the Bajau horsemen at that time are very loyalist to Mustafa. They went to airport to kill me because I attacked Mustafa. So the special branch dismissed them, sent them off. So I was late, it saved my life. But the police said, you must go next day. You cannot play any more tricks. So that night, I spent the night with William Lai. The next day, I was arrested. I was taken to custody. I was not arrested. I was taken to police custody so that I will, in time to make it to the plane. So I was sent off. But at that time, May the 14th, there's a curfew in Subang. So the airport was closed. So I spent 3 nights in Singapore with Devanaya. I kept in contact with the party leaders and Dr. Chen, Lee Lam Tai, Lee Kao, Pan Yu Deng, all told me, don't come back. Don't come back because you're on the arrest list, ISA. And my family as well. So they said, you stay away until the crisis is over. I tell myself, how do you stay away? You tell the people of Malacca you are going to be the MP, there's a trouble, you don't go back. So on the 3rd day, about the 17th of May, I bought a ticket and I rang up my house. I'm not coming back, but I'm coming back. And I still remember at that time, flying from Singapore to KL. You go the postcard, you write a postcard. So I wrote to my wife, if I don't come back, you look after the children. I don't know where's the postcard. Maybe the special branch. So I came back, and at the Subang airport, you must disembark because you are from another country. So at the airport, there was a immigration officer and 2 policemen checking passport or long queue. When they came to me, I asked, are you looking for me? They look up, just come on.
Finally, you are here.
Looking for me. So on the way from Subang to KL, you see over 10 cars, you see, it's a curfew. And I thought to myself, if they send me somewhere and finish me off, that's the end of me. Yeah. And nobody will know. But anyway, it did happen. I went to KL after the necessary filing papers. I was taken to Kuala Selangor, where I spent 2 months, 60 days of ISA before I was formally detained and in more detention camp.
Yeah. So after that, you continue. This photo, it show you came out from the Kamuntin. Is it?
So when there was a camp 1, camp 2, I put in camp 3. Camp 1, camp 2, the Labour Party people, about 100, 200 of them. So they don't want to mix with them, afraid that I will poison them or they will poison me. And in camp 3, there were all sorts of people. People who make false documents, passports, and gangsters. And Hamidwa, you may not heard. Hamidwa was champion the landless, and he will occupy land and distribute to the landless farmers. So I spent 16 months in Muar. On the 1st of October, I was released. So I came out, and that was 2nd or 3rd of October.
October. Okay. So after that, you continue. And during our party time is 70s, is all your programs photo lah. So you were very young during that time.
Still young.
How young were you?
That will be about
20 plus or 30 plus?
29, 30.
But our party may be in the dilemma during that time, 70s. A few of our elected reps resigned from party. So how do you all do?
See, at that time, we went through a very tough period because Tun Razak, who took over as the government, Tun Razak and others tried to break the party because we were the only significant party. Past, everybody has joined, and the National Front, Barisan Nasional, was formed. So you had PAS, you had Gerakan, you had PPP, except DAP. So they want to break the DAP. And to break the DAP, either you get people to leave the party, and we had a number of members of parliament and a number of state assembly people who left the party. And they left the party because they have weaknesses. Like you have gambling, you have one of the earliest was Lee Beng Chiang, and he's from KL, because he had a lot of gambling debts. And then the others, you force them by offers, like Richard Ho. Richard Ho became a minister. He was one in Sitiawan. We had others. So at that time, they were finding ways and means to break the party. So we have to unite. We went through a party crisis after the crisis. We had Goh Guan. And you see, when you first came out from detention, you had certain moral authority. So I suggested you bring back Goh Hak Wan. Bring back Goh Hak Wan to return to the leadership, to the national leadership. And so I met with Goh Hak Wan. Goh Hak Wan said, I want to be party chairman. I said, no, cannot now. How do you be party chairman? We have Dr. Chen Man Hin as party chairman. He said, I'm better than him. I'm a born leader. It's the first time I heard a born leader. So when I disagreed, and finally he was a vice chairman and the chairman of the disciplinary committee. But he was the one who breaks all disciplines. He go against the party line openly, and we had problem. Finally, we had to sack him. But earlier, of course, the people will say that you brought him back, but I brought him back. Did not expect him to behave like that. So we had a lot of problems in the early 70s, and they will try to break the party. And I think 1/3 of MPs and about 1/3 of assemblymen, assembly women. At the time we have no, I don't think we have any assembly women. We had assemblymen. They were defected. They defected and joined the ruling government. So that is the history.
Yeah. Okay. How do we overcome that?
Well, we had to tighten ourselves and have greater discipline. It's not easy. Other parties may be broken, but by and large we went through. And in 1974, in 78, we survived.
Yeah. So until the activists in Malaysia is also another very tough time because of government want to implement the one bangsa, satu budaya, 同化政策 during that time.
But before that, we had problem. We had kept another biggest problem was the MP for Malacca, 1978. Chantik Chan.
Okay,
Chantik Chan and teamed up with the Penang people, Chin Yok Su, Siang Kim. Siang Kim was a member of parliament for Bukit Mentajam. Chin Yok Su was an assemblyman for Trubong. And at one time I was accused of being anti-Chinese educated. The English educated fighting the Chinese educated. Before I was accused, I was being anti-Malay. I was accused of anti-Chinese educated. So we had to fight the problem. There was a Bangkalan Kota by-election where we were supposed to win, but we lost. So there were ups and downs, many problems. And but the leadership has been able to stay strong and whole and remain united.
So how is the campaign during that time for that we against the government for the policy? One all cannot learn the Chinese, cannot learn Tamil.
1981, Mahathir became Prime Minister. 82, he held general elections. And he was a new man. Everybody expect him to do well. And but we did badly in 82. And we lost Saraman. Saraman Lee San Chun, the MCA president, stood against our chairman, Dr. Chen Man Hin, and he defeated Dr. Chen.
Okay.
And that was the time when they talk about one language and one culture.
Yeah.
When Malaysia is which are against our policy of many languages, many cultures, many civilizations, many religions. And we had a hard time. But immediately after the 1982 general election, the public support came back. We had the Rauk by-election, where we won a Rauk state assembly seat, and we had the Perak Kepayang by-election, and then we had the Seremban by-election. So those three by-elections signal the DAP was making a comeback, which reached its height in 1986. So we had to go to carry out party reforms. And it was at that time that Anwar Ibrahim came to our retreat in Camera Highlands.
Yeah.
Nur Izzah was a baby, just born.
Yep.
I think 2 or 3 months. At 1981, he said, yeah, how to talk to your people? I said, no, just talk, just give your views and answer questions. So that was the first time that Anwar Ibrahim came. So in 1986, at that time, there was a proposal that I go to Penang. And so, for the party's sake, if not, cannot make a breakthrough. To lead the party to make a breakthrough in Penang. So in 1986, I left Malacca and stood in Tanjung parliamentary seat. And 82, 86, 1990, 1995, I stood in Tanjung, and we failed to, although I defeated Lim Chong Yu in 1990 Padang Kota by-election, Padang Kota election. We failed to secure, to form the Penang state government. In 1999, when we were deciding on the candidature, I asked Chow Kuan Yew, who is now our chief minister. He was supposed to stand in Bukit Bendera. I asked him, can you win or not? He said, difficult. Okay, I'll fight. I'll go to Bukit Bendera. I went to Bukit Bendera and I lost. And I lost at Bukit Bendera. I left Tanjung. Chow Kuan Yew fought at Tanjung. I went to Bukit Bendera. I was defeated, and that led to 2004, 2008 when I went to Ipoh Timur. I stood in Ipoh Timur, and in 2013, 2018, I returned to Johor. I went to Galapata 2013, and 2018 it was changed to Iskandar Putri. So that's the life history.
So after that, from your whole life, or no, not whole life, in your political
life.
So you found, we saw that the history, you quite support to have a coalition in different times. So since together with the first one, this one, this feet, this one.
That was 1990. With the DAP supported the Tunku Razali. Tunku Razali in 1988 1986 teamed up with Musa Hitam to fight Mahathir, but lost. But they went to court to declare the election null and void. Justice Harun instead declared UMNO illegal. And UMNO was found as an illegal party. So they tried to form Tunku Abdul Rahman and Tunku Razali tried to form another party, the Semangat 46, because UMNO was the gathering of the Malays who fought against the British colonial rule to bring back the Malayan proposals was 1946. So they went back to 1946, Semangat 46. And but Mahathir misused his powers, told the registrar not to register, but to register the UMNO Baru, which he formed. And so the party formed by, and subsequently the party was formed, Semangat 46. So he supported Razali, and Razali formed Gagasan Rakyat. Gagasan Rakyat is made of two alliances. One among the DAP and other parties. Two is with the PAS and other parties. So the two form the Gagasan Rakyat. That was the first time that the DAP cooperated with PAS indirectly. That was indirectly. And it shows that the DAP is prepared to work with any force in the country for the good of the country. We don't take a position that any race or any individual is evil. Even Mahathir. We cooperated with Mahathir because we believe that he was prepared to be influenced by Pakatan Harapan's reformasi, institutional change for a better society. No poverty, no injustice, and others. But Mahathir proved to be otherwise. I would even say that Mahathir is the prime minister in the world who has the most failed prime minister in the world. Which person in the world can become a prime minister for 2 terms, 24 years, except Mahathir? Before Mahathir became prime minister, he talked about Malay dilemma. The Malays are surprised, the Malays must unite, the Malays must fight. But when he became a prime minister in 81, he's known as, remember, Wawasan Vision 2020, Bangsa Malaysia. Bangsa Malaysia was everybody have a place. So, that was all he achieved. But after he ceased to be prime minister, he go back to Malay dilemma and even worse. So I call him as the prime minister who has failed in the world.
So what is the story behind this picture with the
this is the
Tunku Razali?
1990 when we cooperated with Tunku Razali in Gagasan Rakyat.
Oh, during the program.
It's some function.
Some function.
Yeah.
So this one after that is our Barisan Alternative. It's after Anwar's.
Yeah, this was after Anwar, and this was Fadil Noh.
Yeah.
No,
Next
the past president
Yeah.
who died
No.
in KL and Jomo and Hussein
Hussein
Ali.
Mm.
Maybe
Aziz. So the
Barisan
time
Singh,
Anwar is already in the
Yeah.
jail, right?
and Anwar would have been jailed by then.
So from this Barisan Alternative, is inside our party.
Who?
No, I mean that we want to form this Barisan Alternative. So inside our party, is there any other opinion against it? Because we directly work together with PAS.
There were some views that we should not work with PAS, but the decision was taken.
Okay, but still lah, go.
But there were different views lah. There were different views.
So after that is Pakatan Rakyat
Yeah.
during 2008.
Gagasan Rakyat, and then
Alternative,
Gagasan
Barisan Alternative,
Harapan Rakyat.
and then Pakatan Rakyat.
Yeah.
So
They were all wrong, the views that should or should not. And in 1999, the reason why I was defeated, because and that's a lesson we must learn. I was defeated because I was seen as a Chinese, whereas we treat the Chinese.
it's during the 1999, right? The Barisan Alternative.
They say
yeah.
if Barisan Alternative succeeds and form power, and then there will be no Chinese schools, there will be no Chinese cinemas, there will be no Chinese this, Chinese that. So my whole life I've been regarded as a traitor to the Chinese, traitor to Chinese educated, traitor to the Chinese, to Malays, traitor to the Indians, everything. But at least we had tried. I think one thing we had tried is that all the years, for more than 50 years, we have always maintained that DAP is a multi-racial party, multilingual party, and our slate of candidature must reflect the major races. So in 1969, we had two Malay assemblymen, Ibrahim Singh and one is Negeri Sembilan. In 1974, before the general election, I announced that if we capture Perak, and there was a possibility, we were thinking of capturing Perak power, the Menteri Besar will be Ibrahim Singh. And I insisted that Dan Ibrahim, Nakoda Hitam, be assemblyman in stood in Ipoh. Fasan stood in Intan in the 80s. There were people who don't agree, but that's that. Similarly, there were those who didn't agree with that we fielded in the Go Ping by-election, 1986. Amano. They say, how can Chinese seat? But then, and then Dana Sophia, who stood in Teluk Intan in 2014. They say, how can you put Dana Sophia? Both of them lost. Ahmad Noor lost, but we keep trying. This is a multi-racial party.
We can represent everyone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we can represent everyone.
Yeah, we listen to it. And I'm happy that we are now 3 members of parliament among Malay members of parliament, because you must remain to be represent of all races, languages, religions. What is this?
This is 2022. After election, we formed the unity government.
That's after my time. After my time.
Okay. So, from the past, so now here, although you say that this is not under your time, but the unity government now, and we have our Prime Minister, Dato' Sri Anwar. So how you see the government, the cooperation with us, with the UMNO, etc. So what is your view on that?
I think there were many people who were surprised by the Kelantan by-election result, because they see UMNO as a gone case. And it shows that UMNO is not a gone case. But UMNO cannot go back to Najib. UMNO must go back to the constitution, go back to Rukun Negara. Rukun Negara, which talks about the diversity in Malaysia. And like it or not, this is a land of Sabah and Sarawak cannot become Malay land. Sabah and Sarawak, that's right. I think under fortuitous circumstances, you have Sabah and Sarawak, which cannot be part of what is known as a Malay hegemony. So we have broken Malay hegemony. We want a Malaysian middle ground. And in the last 2 or 3 years, we have moved away from the center. We have moved away from Rukun Negara. We have moved away from the constitution. We talk about Cafe Habi. We talk about lies, misinformation, disinformation, saying that our MP for Bukit Bendera wants to change the national religion. That has never been our stand.
Okay.
There will be a lot of lies. There will be a lot of hatred. But these are people who want to change Malaysia to be full extremism, polarization. And that's why I say the Kelantan by-election is welcome. It's welcome because it shows that there's no inevitability of green tide taking place. I still remember in 1960, when I was working in Singapore. We were looking around the world. I was working in the area. We talk about inevitability of communism. In 1960, everywhere, China, Russia, going communist. So there appears to be inevitability of communism. But do you want communism? We don't want. We don't want communism. So there's now talk of inevitability of the green tide, of the green wave. There's no such thing. But it's a battle to be fought. And we must fight the battle. We who hold the ground must fight the battle. They want to use the DAP as a scapegoat. They want to use the DAP to tell all lies about the DAP. But we must remain strong and at the right time take our stand.
Okay. It's not easy to take a position during the bad time You only can make a decision, the best decision that we have during that time. Yeah. So from just now, it's all about others, about party, about the society, about the country. So now we want to know more about your personal, your families. So in 1999 is the first time that you lost, that you are not in the parliament for about 5 years until 2004. So how do you feel that during the time when you know that you lost the election?
It's slop on.
Slop on.
Slop on.
Okay. So what is the power that supports you to fight until now? Even you lose, you also still continue to fight for that. What is the power inside you?
You believe in something worthwhile doing. You want to. This is actually, if you look at this Malaysia is a good place. It's not a bad place. You go to China, you don't feel like you belong to China. I don't know, China is not a good place. It's a good place to visit, but you don't belong. I've been to Australia, to New Zealand, UK, and USA. You don't. And I think all right, I ask a question. For a change, what do you think is the China's population in 2100?
2100.
Now it's 1.4 billion. What do you think is the China's population in 2100, 75 years from now?
Decrease.
76 years.
Decrease.
What? 1 million? 2 billion? The expectation is 500 to 750 million. Half or more than less than half, 60%. Because China is going through an aging population. But, all right, that apart, I'm thinking you must think of the future. China got a problem now. One family, one baby. One baby, one family. Now, one family, two baby, also you worry about education, you worry about family, health. Too expensive to bear a baby. And this is a world trend. The world is, this is a world trend. But outside China, we are not affected by this one family, one baby rule. But you don't belong. There's a diaspora Chinese, diaspora Indians, diaspora Malays who live outside. But one thing about difference is this: the Malaysian diaspora, they are Malaysians. That's why in 2018, a lot of Malaysians come back to vote. But Chinese diaspora, you're not part of, and legally or non-legally, you are not part of China. But we have a role. We have a role as Malaysians, Indonesians, or whatever it is, and there is a separate role that you can play, not as Chinese citizens, but as citizens of our own countries, where we are not held or constricted by the limitations of the campaign.
When we want to talk about the personal, you still talk about the future. Yeah. Okay. Then.
No, wait.
Yeah.
Lauda, what did you make for a living when you lost your election?
Yeah.
What's that?
What did you do for a living?
Now,
19,
No, 1999.
1999 after you lost.
After you lost.
I didn't do anything for a living.
Then how do you sustain your family?
I survived. Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, Lauda, I've always wondered that people like you, people like Papa all.
We must not have expensive tastes.
But children are expensive, whether you have expensive taste or not. How?
Right? You lead a simple life.
So when Guan Eng also went to jail, yourself also went to jail, what is your feeling to your family?
You feel shattered. You feel distraught. But life goes on. You have to continue.
Lives go on. So, okay, I open the opportunity to you all. Any question? We still have 20 minutes before Kim Ming come.
Question asked.
Lata, you mentioned about a lot of things just now, but mainly all the struggles and achievements during your past time in politics. But what are the things that you did or the things that you and your comrades do now that you don't see in younger generations in DAP? What are the things that you think we must hold it, must have it right now?
I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Can you repeat?
Okay, come.
Okay, I'll whisper to you. The question is, just now you mentioned about a lot of things that during your pastimes in politics, right? Achievements and also your struggles. But nowadays, most of us are actually young women in DAP. What are the things that you think that we must have, that during pastime you have it, and now but that you don't see in younger generations? And thank you.
The last 1 week or 10 days, I've been watching what is happening in USA. I think, before July 20th, it was a battle between two old men. Now there's hope. There's Kamala Harris may become the first woman president. So, and tomorrow is the DNC, Democratic National Convention. So, I think that's what we must always work for improvement, for change, for the better, in terms of environment, in terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of the future. And we must not give up. One of the things I want to do, I'll share this with you. I want to form a 100 years old club. Because I believe everybody can live to 100 years old. And anybody who wants, the condition of membership is you want to live to 100 years old. So you must continue to live meaningfully. You must not waste your time.
Lauta, can Mahathir join your 100-year-old club?
I will not comment.
Okay.
I have questions. Just now you mentioned about Middle East already very tolerant and open, like Dubai, like King Abdullah already very open. Nowadays, even the ladies and men already can be seated together, not like olden days. But now, in Malaysia, they are like reversing, like a little bit of things will trigger to like very like what Lauta mentioned is now very Islamic state. Although like yesterday the the small election is a welcoming, but now still Islamic can be triggered. Even a small thing like maybe a video, a speech can be like can trigger and create some issues, like quite sensitive issue. What do you think about Malaysia now?
It's a political atmosphere. You see, in the last under Anwar government, there were a few things that we think he could do differently. It could open up. There are a lot of criticism, a lot of attacks on Anwar that he has forgotten the election manifesto. But I think, see, one thing that the DAP has to learn, we thought we were in the opposition from 1966 to 2018. At that time, we thought that we come into government, we can change things overnight. But we are not the 1789 French Revolution. In 1789, if you don't listen to the directives, you guillotine, you chop the head. You don't chop the head. You can't chop the head. So you must persuade. Everybody is a voter. So you must persuade. And in particular, the Malay voters, if they believe that there are people who want to finish off the Malays, finish off the Muslims, they are bound to react. But I believe that so we are now facing the problem of social media. Of course, it does mean that there were no lies, there were no untruths, disinformation, misinformation in the past. There were. But today it is more powerful. And we must find ways. Means there is Ninchin's problem. Ninchin's problem is how to make sure that the social media do not destroy Malaysia through fakes, lies, untruth, hatred, polarization, extremism. So when we are faced with this problem, I can understand why Anwar tried to redeem the ground of the Malay support. Because without Malay support, it cannot become Prime Minister. But he must not forget the manifesto, the change for the better, for those unfortunate, the poor people, justice and freedom. So you have to find a common ground, which is not so easy. And that is why the other thing I'm interested is a civilization. I want a civilization dialogue. And that's something I'm working on. Looking at the past and looking into the future.
Civilization dialogue. Okay, good. So, any questions?
Do you think the party is straying away from our social democratic values?
From?
Do you think that the party is straying away from our social democratic values? Whether it's a yes or no, do you think we can go back stronger, rooted to our social democratic values in the near future?
I think Malaysia. See, there are certain things in the last 2 years, which in the past we will be outspoken, and we are not speaking up, and that's why I said we must learn in 2018 We thought things can change overnight. But things don't change overnight. You have to convince. You must convince. You have 1.6 Malay civil service. You have to convince them. You have to make them see the. That's why, whether we want Malaysia to be a great world-class nation or a nation of affiliates, but it takes time to explain. And with the social media, where instantly hate news, cafe hobby, and national religion, and matriculation, and all that, I think one has to be careful. But you cannot give up. You must continue to follow the rein, and we operate on a 5-year term. 5-year term every general election, and you must always bear in mind that in that 5 years, if you don't advance, you retreat. So 5 years you can break into 2 and 3, but 2 years have passed. You must begin to work on the other directions.
Following that cafe Harvey issue, right? So after that issue, during the Negeri time, Rara, Saudara Siang, and also Saudara Sheikh had made a police report in that. But then, usually, the extremists will say that the Malay in the AP is just a dog for the AP. It's just a puppet for the AP. So I just want to know your view and how the Malay in the AP can stop being seen as a puppet, just a puppet or a dog in the AP.
We decided at the beginning to operate first on urban areas. And urban areas are normally areas. Because you have to start somewhere. But that is the problem we face. When you work in the urban areas, you are seen as a non-Malay party. And but we don't regard ourselves as a non-Malay party, we regard ourselves as a Malaysian party. So we must make effort to convince the people that our Malay digits are not digits, they are leaders of full strength and support. When in 1969, nobody will remember that we had 2 Malay assemblymen in 69. And all along on the way, we had multiracial slate as candidates, and in 1990, we have our first Malay MP. But it's not easy. It takes time. It takes time to convince the people. And of course, now the DAP is under attack. We want to wipe out Malays, we want to wipe out Muslims, we want to change the religion, which is all untrue. But these are the situation we are facing. So we need courageous and positive leaders to come forward. And when DAP becomes a fully Malaysian party, why is it we try to go to Kelantan, Terengganu? We are a party with all states. Why? Because we want to be multi-racial, multi-religious, multilingual, multi-civilizational. It is easy. It's not easy. But we keep frank. It is so easy to become a Chinese party. You talk about Chinese issues. It's so easy to become Indian party lah. I'm going to see the Orang Asli people in a few days, and they are forming an Orang Asli party, and I tell them, don't form an Orang Asli party. You will go nowhere. Be part of a Malaysian party.
Okay, and one last question.
Yeah, okay. So,
Hey, coming is here. Come.
so is it? Yeah.
Yeah, you take over.
Not yet, Lao Da, not yet. Your last question.
Yeah.
How can we be like the East Malaysia political party? East Malaysia political party that no matter our government wants to form, we have to go over there and talk to them, discuss with them to like get them to join in our coalition.
Sorry.
How can we like the East Malaysia political party, no matter what, we have to go and discuss with them and talk to them to join us?
We believe in a Malaysian dream. We believe in everyone, regardless of your race, your religion, your culture. No, we are not asking anyone to forget about being Malay. We are not asking anyone to forget you are a Chinese. We are a Malay, you are a Chinese, you are an Indian, you are a Kadazan, you are a Orang Asli. But you are Malaysian. First and foremost, you are a Malaysian. We never say you forget, don't be a Malay, be Malay. But be a Malaysian Malay. Be a Chinese, but be a Malaysian Chinese. That's important. And that is important, but it's difficult. You are going against, you are pioneers. You are pioneers for a long cause. If we don't succeed, there is no guarantee of success. If we don't succeed, Malaysia fails. That's all. But we believe that we are not destined to be a failed nation. We want to be a great world-class nation. Everybody can contribute. We don't want a Chinese Malaysia, a Malay Malaysia, or Indian Malaysia. We want a Malaysian Malaysia.
So,
Hey, coming.
thank you, Lao Da, for today's session, sharing with us a lot of your experience. So we hope that in the future we can organize again for other